Good day. My name is Michael Smith.
And I'm Chris Morosky, and we are the founding directors of Pathways School. So, Mike, you've got a very interesting course that's coming up on the May 21st to the 23rd weekend. What are you doing?
Well, we're going to do a wilderness survival weekend, covering basically the skills you would need to survive in an emergency situation. But honestly, that really takes usually about 2 or 3 hours, because the word survival basically means you don't really know what you're doing, which is okay, and you're basically waiting for someone else to come and get you. You know, like the search and rescue people. So what you need to know about that, if you're lost or if you're, stuck in the bush from being, lost backpacking, or your car breaks down, that stuff's pretty easy to cover. But what we're going to focus on more is moving towards more wilderness living skills, I guess in the context of if you suddenly had to leave your home. And there's, a few situations where that might come up, where you and some friends might actually have to go camping for a while, or possibly even go from one place to another, fairly quickly.
So in this case, there's no rescue that's imminent, or you wouldn't know how long it could be until a rescue comes.
Yeah, that's the idea. Or, and to bring up perhaps a eerie situation, for some reason it's a martial law and you'd rather be somewhere else than where other people are.
Right.
Not that that's specifically what's it about, but that could be a...
Right. So a lot of different scenarios.
Yep, pretty much. But
And you called this 100 miles in a hurry. What was the reason for that?
Well, I think it's nice to have a context for any of the things that I do with people when I'm out in the bush, because it gives you this real clear sense of what it is that you're trying to accomplish together. So let's say for whatever reason you're going to bug out, and you're on your way. Let's say you accidentally, head for a campground, other people show up, you're all there, you get to know each other and decide if you're going to cooperate, and you all know you have to get somewhere else, perhaps away from a hurricane or something like that. And it gives us a sense, not so much of emergency and urgency, but a sense of the importance of cooperation. We would all sit down together, look at a topographical map, and decide the best place to go and why, and how to get there. As well as what you might really need to carry. So I always invite people to come out bringing what they think they would need given their skill sets, if they're bringing their children, if they're bringing, I don't know, a cooler full of beer, whatever they think they want to take for 100 miles over land. And, it gets people thinking. And some people bring a lot of stuff. Some people basically come there with a good knife and maybe a big lighter or something. So, basically that's the idea. Have a reason to get together, have a sense of what we're doing, and to get really good at being able to refine what you need. Because believe me, if you had to walk 100 miles overland, where do you get water? How much do you have to carry? That's pretty heavy. What else do you need? And that's sort of the other side of survival, is you're only going to want to carry what you need, especially if you got little kids you might have to be carrying too.
Right. So this is an event where families are welcome?
Yeah, it's for families and friends. So some people will come as couples, some people will have children, some people will be more solo. My son usually comes out, it's a lot of fun. And we do some stuff that's specific for the kids. We do some stuff that gives, I think, adults an opportunity to see that children are actually pretty responsible with knives and fires and things like that, if they're given a lot of focused things to do with it. So it kind of unties the knots of a lot of things that make people nervous about being in the bush too. And, it's going to be a pretty fun camp out as well. We're basically not going to go 100 miles overland. We're going to go to a friend's place and set up ourselves the way that seems to make the most sense, and spend most of our time learning skills, practicing them, seeing how other people do things. And I've kind of embedded a few little tricky things in the flow of how the information comes, so that people can learn, well, just by the way that they're going to learn. And that's hard to explain, but sometimes learning about how to learn is just as important as what you learn.
Right. And so are people going to be learning some MacGyver tricks while you're out there?
Well, yeah, I like to call them MacGyver tricks because, like we started the fire here with a flashlight battery and some steel wool, there's all kinds of things that, you know, you may not see in front of you that are a profoundly useful resource, from, you know, a nicely rounded stone to even the cowling of that flashlight. I can put some tinder up inside of it, point it at the sun, and start a fire that way. We'll be doing that out there if it's a nice day as well. But it's kind of a fun chess game, you know, like what can you do with this? How does this work? If you put these two things together, you know, now you've got a robot to do your dishes.
I'd like to see that.
I'm still working on getting it to do the dishes, but
Sounds like a great weekend.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to plan on coming out there as well, so it'll be fun. And what should people bring along with them?
Well, pretty much anything you think you would need to be comfortable or survive 100 miles over land. I'll email the people who are interested in coming basically a huge list of what you could bring if you wanted to cover everything: extra socks, you know, that kind of stuff, a GPS thingy if you like, the whole thing. But, you know, it's also kind of the challenges, you know, bring what you need, you know, and don't overdo it. But there's two things that people have to bring in the sense of helping us really learn to learn and work together. One thing people need to bring is a food offering for 5 other people for 1 meal. You don't have to bring 5 full meals, but just like a portion for 5 of other people for one of the meals that we're going to have together. And the other thing that everybody has to bring is a teddy bear. And I'm not going to explain why you have to bring a teddy bear at this point. It's kind of a bit of a mystery thing, but it's very, very useful. So yeah, some food for some other people and a teddy bear, and anything else you think you need to get 100 miles over land. Think about how many days that's going to take you, how much water you need, and we'll take it from there. But every time I do this with people, we learn a lot, we have a lot of fun, and people come away with a whole different perspective on how survival really happens in the wilderness, or the real world.
Sounds great, Michael.
Yep.
So, Michael, that's a great idea. Always keeping in mind multiple uses for anything that you take outdoors. So keep that in mind the next time you're headed out to go camping. And Michael, was there anything else that you wanted to say to the good folks at home?
I guess something I'd like to say is I'm looking forward in a really big way to this summer. We've got lots of great programs and classes. We're going to be doing some virtual mentoring through the website with some other presentations we're going to be giving on some wisdom teachings from indigenous cultures and other modalities of healing, working with peace studies a little bit, just to help each of us get a little bit more in touch with and a little bit more clear about how to relate to the challenging times we're in, so that we're not sitting in a place of fear. We're in a place of adaptability, a place of action, a place of learning, and just the humility that there's, you know, nobody really knows what's going to happen, or we'd all know. So it's a big mystery, but a real good chance to get into some learning and have a lot of fun with each other, because, you know, why not? So blessings to you all, and thanks for watching our videos. And the next one that's coming out will be on the Full Circle program, which we're calling Reawakening Your Sacred Humanity, and it's a 1-year apprenticeship through the 4 seasons. So have a great day. Thanks.